Okay, so now we'll go ahead and take a look at doing some layout work for our component and also adding some CSS support. So let me move into my login status component.html, expand my window. I'll get rid of all the previous stuff that was here. And basically what I want to do here is have this new component where we have a login button. And then also once they're logged in, we want to have an area where we can display the user's name and a logout button. So we'll just set up a div as the main container here. And what I'll do here is set up an ngIf. I'll check to see if the user is authenticated and also if their username is set. If so, then I'll actually display a welcome message to the user. So we'll say, hey, welcome back, user full name. Now we'll display some buttons depending on their actual authentication status. So here, if they're not authenticated, then we'll actually show them the login button. All right, so that's the login button. That'll send them over to this router link for /login, and we'll take care of the router links in a bit. The third item here is ngIf, and we'll say if is authenticated, then we'll actually show them the logout button. And then we'll just change the router link portion to be an actual event binding for click. And then we'll actually call the logout method. And then we'll move over here and we'll give the text for the button to be logout. So effectively here, if they're already logged in, then we'll show the logout button. So this will kind of give us the layout here for the coding here for the login button, meaning that they're not logged in. If they are logged in already, then we'll show them the welcome message along with the logout button. So that's kind of the basics as far as the layout here for our login status component. Now there are a couple of CSS styles that I used here that we haven't really defined yet. So we actually need to go through the process of getting that part set up. And what we'll do is we'll actually put this information into our login status component.css. Now, in previous videos, we never really used the CSSs for the actual component. We would kind of put them into that main file for our styles.css. But in this video, just to show you a different approach, we'll actually put our local styles for this component in its own CSS file. Again, you can do it either way. You can put everything into one big style CSS, or you can put them in smaller specific files. So think about it, working on a much larger project, you may want to have separate CSS files per component, just so you can kind of keep track of which styles belong to which components. Again, it can work either way. I'm just showing you an alternative approach here. So what we'll actually do is we'll copy some CSS styles from styles.css, and then we'll rename them and we'll use them here for the login status component. And we'll also make some slight mods to them. So I'll move into the style CSS and I'm going to copy this AU button submit. So I'm in style CSS right now, and I'll just do a search. For this AU button. Yep, the AU button submit. Great, that's the one I want. So let's go ahead and select this and copy it. And I'll swing back over to my login status component CSS and I'll paste it here. I'll do the quick rename on it. Let me just fix my comment so it matches with what I said. Okay. And I'll do a rename, call it security button. And then just a slight mod here. I'll just change the border to 10 pixels. And that's the only real change here for this style. But we gave it a different name, so if we wanted to make any mods to it, it wouldn't affect the entire application, just the styles here for this given component. And then we'll move to the next video and we'll do a similar thing as far as adding or incorporating more styles for this component.